I would say that I think it could be bigger than the experts even imagine. And so, America's role was obviously to broker and bring both sides together, but we view the next phase of our engagement as making sure that we really establish a firm foundation for this peace, to make sure that both the government to government at the institutions, at the politician level, but then also at the people to people level starts happening as quickly as possible, because we want this relationship to stand on its own without the need for America to be a part of it. We think that there's so much commonality in terms of threat and also commonality in terms of opportunity. And what I saw was both sides maybe a little bit surprised with how comfortable they felt with each other. The styles of diplomacy and of interaction are very similar. And again, when I travel to Israel, I don't feel very different than when I travel to United Arab Emirates or Saudi Arabia or Bahrain. So I actually hear the same things. I'm just looking at people who perhaps are from different places, but they're saying a lot of the same things now. And so what America's tried to do is bring people closer together, because this region will be stronger if it's united and if there's more opportunity for people. And so it was really a very hopeful meeting and quite exciting. So right now the focus is on this relationship and on the relationship potentially with other countries. That's very important to Israel. It's very important to the region. Israel's agreed to suspend the annexation, or to suspend applying Israeli law to those areas for the time being. But in the future, it's a discussion that I'm sure will be had, but not in the near future. Let's hope it's months. Obviously, anything could happen, but the reality is that a lot of people were very envious of the move that the United Arab Emirates made. A lot of people want access to the technology and economy and a lot of the different advancements that Israel has. I mean, Israel's like another Silicon Valley for the Middle East here, and they're open for business, and they're very excited to interact with the Arab and Muslim world. And purely from a faith point of view, a lot of Muslims now are very excited to be able to fly through the United Arab Emirates to go and visit and pray at the Al-Aqsa Mosque and to visit the other holy and majestic sites of Israel. So I think that this is going to be the start of something very exciting, and my hope is that more and more countries will want to do this, because it doesn't benefit anybody by being apart. It's just it allows myths to permeate. It allows people to have misperceptions, and we don't solve problems by not talking to each other. It's logical for them to do it, and I believe that it's the right thing to do over time. And so I am an optimist. That's my blessing and my curse in life. It's more fun to be an optimist than a pessimist, but there's 1,000 reasons why it should happen, and there's very few reasons why it shouldn't happen. So my hope and my prayers are that the leaders have the strength and the courage to make the right decisions and to not be discouraged by the vocal minorities. Twitter is not a real place. The people who are angry on Twitter, and then you have some radicals, but the people who are against normalization are people who are against progress, right? Normalization is about giving everybody opportunity, respecting each other's faith, and having a more stable region. If you're against normalization, then what are you standing for? You're standing for extremism, you're standing for division, you're standing for intolerance. And so I think that thanks to the United Arab Emirates leadership now, people are looking at it through that prism, and I think it will create a much bigger coalition, what I call a vocal majority that will be in favor of normalizing. And I think that the vocal minority who has been against it will become more and more isolated in the region. On this trip, I had the opportunity to discuss it with the leadership here in the United Arab Emirates. I'll be in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, where and then Qatar, where I'll discuss with them. But President Trump has been speaking to the leaders. It's something he'd like to see, progress made on.